Amanda White was the kind of girl everyone noticed. She lived in a small, quiet town called Willowbrook, where most people knew each other. Amanda was young, beautiful, and always dressed perfectly. Her long blonde hair was always shining, and her blue eyes sparkled like the morning sky. She walked around town with her head held high, wearing expensive clothes and fancy shoes. People often said she looked like someone from a magazine, but there was something about Amanda that people didn't like. She always judged others. Whenever Amanda passed someone who looked poor or tired, she would roll her eyes or whisper comments to her friends. If she saw someone working hard, like cleaning the streets or serving food in a restaurant, she would say things like, "I could never do that job. They must have failed in life." Even her closest friends were tired of hearing her cruel words, but they didn't say anything. Amanda acted like she was better than everyone, and no one dared to challenge her. Her parents were rich and spoiled her since she was a child. She never knew what it felt like to struggle. Whenever she wanted something, her parents bought it. If she wanted to travel, they sent her on holidays. If she needed new clothes, they bought her the best brands. She had never worked a day in her life. She thought that people who worked hard jobs were simply lazy or not smart enough to find a better life. One sunny morning, Amanda sat at her favorite coffee shop with her friend Lucy. As usual, Amanda looked perfect, sipping her drink as she watched people walk by. Then she saw Mr. Jenkins, the old street sweeper, pushing his heavy cart past the cafe. His shirt was dirty, and sweat covered his face. "Look at him," Amanda said with a smirk. "He chose that life. Probably dropped out of school or something." Lucy looked uncomfortable. She didn't agree with Amanda but didn't want to argue. "And that waitress there," Amanda continued, pointing to a young woman bringing plates to a table. "She must have made bad choices in life to end up serving food." Lucy finally spoke softly. "Maybe she's just doing her best, Amanda." Amanda rolled her eyes. "Please, Lucy. If she worked harder, she wouldn't be there." The conversation made Lucy sad, but Amanda didn't care. She continued her day, judging people in every store and street she passed. In Amanda's mind, life was simple. If you worked a hard or dirty job, it was because you were lazy or not smart enough, but life was about to teach Amanda a lesson she would never forget. Later that week, something Amanda never expected happened. Her father's company went bankrupt. It was sudden and shocking. One day, they were rich, and the next, everything was gone. Their cars were taken, their big house was sold, and all their savings disappeared. Amanda's world crashed in just a few days. She sat in her now small rented apartment, crying. Her parents looked tired and broken. Her mother explained, "Amanda, we have no money left. Your father is looking for work. And you need to find a job too." Amanda stared at her mother like she was speaking a different language. "A job? Me?" Her mother nodded with sad eyes. "We can't afford anything without your help. You need to work." Amanda felt like the ground under her feet disappeared. She had never worked a day in her life. She didn't even know where to begin. The girl who judged everyone now had to join them. The next morning, Amanda stood in front of a small cafe, holding a job application. Her hands shook. She looked around, hoping no one from school would see her. Finally, she went inside. The cafe owner, Mrs. Parker, looked at her with surprise. "You want to work here?" she asked kindly. Amanda nodded slowly, embarrassed. "Yes, I need a job, Mrs. Parker smiled softly. "We always need help. You can start tomorrow." Amanda walked home feeling strange. Her new life was about to begin. She didn't feel perfect anymore, and she was starting to realize that judging people had been easy, but working in their shoes would be very hard. Tomorrow, Amanda would become the very person she used to laugh at. She just didn't know yet how much her heart was about to change. Amanda woke up early the next morning, feeling nervous. Her expensive clothes were gone, so she wore simple jeans and a plain white shirt her mother had found for her. Her shiny hair was tied back in a ponytail. She didn't even bother with makeup. Standing in front of the mirror, Amanda barely recognized herself. She walked to the cafe slowly, her heart beating fast. Her stomach felt sick. She thought about running away, but she remembered her mother's tired face and her father's sad eyes. She had no choice. When she arrived, Mrs. Parker greeted her kindly. "You're on time. That's good." Amanda forced a smile. "What do I need to do?" Mrs. Parker led her inside. The cafe looked different now. Before, it was a place where she sat and laughed with friends. Now, it felt like a battlefield. There were tables to clean, dishes to wash, and customers already waiting. "Start by cleaning the tables," Mrs. Parker said. Amanda looked at the dirty plates, spilled drinks, and crumbs everywhere. Her heart sank. She took a deep breath and started wiping the tables. It felt strange. People she used to judge were now sitting there, not even noticing her. After cleaning tables, she had to carry plates to customers. The plates were heavy. The cafe was hot. The smell of food stuck to her clothes. She kept bumping into chairs, and customers complained when their orders were slow. One woman even snapped at her. "Hurry up!" Amanda wanted to cry. Her feet hurt. Her hands shook, and her back ached. But she couldn't stop. Mrs. Parker watched her silently, knowing Amanda needed to learn. During her short break, Amanda sat behind the cafe, sweating and tired. She drank water quickly, wondering how people could do this every day. Lucy, her old friend, saw her from across the street and walked over. Amanda looked down, embarrassed. "Please, don't say anything." Lucy sat beside her. "How are you feeling?" Amanda whispered. "I was wrong, Lucy. I used to think people did these jobs because they were lazy. But this is hard. Really hard." Lucy smiled softly. "Now you understand." Amanda nodded, tears in her eyes. "I do." Her break ended. She wiped her face and went back inside. The rest of the day didn't get easier. Amanda dropped a cup by mistake, and it shattered. A customer got angry when she brought the wrong sandwich. Her legs felt like they couldn't carry her anymore. But she kept going. At the end of her shift, Mrs. Parker handed her a small envelope with money. Amanda looked at it in shock. It was so little for so much work. Mrs. Parker saw the look in her eyes. "It's not easy, is it?" Amanda shook her head. Mrs. Parker smiled kindly. "You did well for your first day." Amanda walked home slowly, holding the small envelope tightly. She thought about all the people she had judged in the past. Now, she realized they weren't lazy. They weren't failures. They were strong. Stronger than she had ever been. When she reached home, she handed the money to her mother without saying a word and went straight to bed. She was too tired to even eat. Lying in the dark, Amanda cried quietly. Not because of the hard work, but because she felt ashamed of the person she used to be. For the first time in her life, Amanda understood how it felt to work in the shoes of those she once laughed at, and she knew tomorrow she would have to do it all over again. The next morning, Amanda woke up with her body aching. Her arms, her back, even her legs hurt. She had never felt this kind of pain before. She almost cried just getting out of bed. But there was no choice. Her family needed her help. She remembered her mother's quiet voice saying, "We can't afford anything without your help." She put on the same clothes from yesterday, since she didn't have many options now. Her once perfect nails were chipped. Her hair felt dry. Looking in the mirror, Amanda no longer saw the rich, spoiled girl everyone once admired. She saw someone tired, someone real. At the cafe, Mrs. Parker was already waiting. She greeted Amanda kindly again. "Today will feel harder, but you'll get stronger." Amanda nodded silently. She started with cleaning the floor that morning. The cafe was messy after breakfast rush. There were spilled coffee, dropped napkins, and food crumbs everywhere. Amanda held the mop and bucket, feeling embarrassed again. As she cleaned the dirty floor, she remembered all the times she looked down on people who did this kind of work. After cleaning, she washed dishes. Hot water burned her hands, and soap made her skin dry and itchy. Plates piled up fast. She worked as quickly as possible, but still felt slow. Her arms hurt from scrubbing. Each plate felt heavier than the last. Lunchtime came. That meant more customers, more noise, more work. Amanda carried plates again, her body shaking with exhaustion. One woman complained loudly because her coffee was cold. A child threw food on the floor, and Amanda had to clean it up without saying a word, but something changed in Amanda that day. As she worked, she started noticing the people she once judged. She saw a mother feeding her baby quietly, looking tired like Amanda. She saw an old man eating alone, smiling kindly at her when she brought him water. She noticed the chef in the kitchen working fast, sweat pouring down his face, yet he didn't complain. She noticed the other waitress, a woman named Jenna, who smiled through her own tiredness, helping Amanda when she got confused with the orders. Amanda started to understand something deeper. Everyone here was fighting their own battles, silently and bravely. During her break, Jenna came to sit beside her. "You're doing okay," Jenna said, smiling. Amanda looked at her hands. "I'm slow, and I keep making mistakes. That's normal. You'll learn." Amanda looked at Jenna. "How do you do this every day?" Jenna laughed softly. "I have 2 kids to feed. I don't have a choice." Amanda felt tears in her eyes again. She had never thought about people like Jenna having stories, families, and dreams. She had only seen their jobs. "I'm sorry," Amanda whispered. Jenna frowned. "Sorry for what?" Amanda looked down. "For judging people like you. People like us." Jenna smiled. "Life teaches us. That's how we learn." Amanda nodded. Her chest felt heavy. She understood now. Life had humbled her. When the break ended, Amanda returned to work with a different heart. She still felt tired, but she no longer worked with anger. She worked with respect for herself and those around her. At the end of the day, Mrs. Parker came to her again. "You're learning," Mrs. Parker said. Amanda managed a weak smile. "I hope so, Mrs. Parker looked into her eyes. "Hard work doesn't make you small, Amanda. It makes you strong." Amanda nodded slowly. "I understand now." As Amanda walked home that evening, she didn't feel ashamed anymore. She still felt tired. Her body still hurt, but her heart felt different. She thought about all the days she had sat in the same cafe, laughing with her friends, judging everyone who worked behind the counter. Now, she was one of them, and she wasn't embarrassed anymore. She felt human. That night, she sat at the small kitchen table with her parents. She handed her mother the small envelope of money once again. Her father looked at her with sad, loving eyes. "I'm proud of you, Amanda." Amanda swallowed the lump in her throat. "I understand now, Dad. People work hard not because they failed, but because they're strong." Her father reached across the table and squeezed her hand. Her mother cried softly. Amanda went to bed early again, tired yet peaceful. For the first time in her life, Amanda felt she was becoming a better person, and she knew her journey had only just begun. Amanda woke up earlier than usual the next morning. She didn't feel as scared or embarrassed this time. Though her body still ached, her heart felt lighter. She tied her hair back, washed her face, and put on her simple work clothes without looking in the mirror. She no longer cared about looking perfect. She cared about helping. Walking to the cafe, she noticed things she had ignored before. The street cleaner, Mr. Jenkins, was already working. His face looked tired, yet peaceful. Amanda remembered how many times she had laughed at him before. Today, she slowed her steps and softly said, "Good morning, Mr." Jenkins looked up, surprised, then smiled. "Good morning to you." That smile stayed with Amanda as she entered the cafe. Mrs. Parker greeted her with a nod. "Ready?" Amanda nodded. "I'm ready." That day, Amanda worked harder than before. She cleaned tables faster. She carried plates more carefully. When customers were rude, she didn't feel angry. She felt understanding. Maybe they had hard lives too. During lunch rush, a customer dropped a full cup of coffee on the floor. Amanda rushed to clean it without waiting for Mrs. Parker to tell her. Her hands moved quickly. Her back bent low. People stared at her, but Amanda didn't care. She wasn't embarrassed anymore. She was helping. Later, a little boy spilled his soup. His mother looked stressed and embarrassed. Amanda walked over quietly, smiling. "It's okay. I'll clean it." The mother looked at her, eyes full of gratitude. "Thank you," Amanda smiled as she wiped the floor. Those simple words, "thank you," touched her heart. For the first time, she realized that being helpful felt better than being perfect. During her break, Jenna sat beside her again. "You're getting faster," Jenna said. I'm trying, Amanda replied softly. You're different now. Amanda nodded. I think I'm changing. Jenna laughed kindly. Change is good. Amanda looked at Jenna closely. Can I ask you something? Of course. Are you happy doing this job every day? Jenna thought for a moment. It's not easy, but I'm proud. I work hard for my children. That makes me happy. Amanda felt tears rising. Jenna's answer was so simple, yet so powerful. I used to think people only did hard jobs because they had no choice, Amanda whispered. Jenna looked at her kindly. Sometimes that's true, but it doesn't mean we're weak. It means we're strong. Amanda understood. After her break, Amanda worked the rest of her shift with new energy. She felt connected to everyone in the cafe, not just the workers, but the customers too. Each person had their own story. Each person was fighting their own silent battle. At the end of the day, Mrs. Parker called her over. You're learning faster than I expected, she said. Amanda looked down, embarrassed. It's not just about the work. I'm learning about people too, Mrs. Parker smiled. That's more important. Amanda asked quietly. Why did you give me this job, Mrs. Parker? After how I used to act, why did you say yes? Mrs. Parker's eyes softened. Because everyone deserves a second chance. Even you. Amanda felt tears slipping down her cheeks. Mrs. Parker gently placed a hand on her shoulder. You're becoming someone different, Amanda. Keep going. Amanda nodded, unable to speak. Walking home, Amanda felt proud not of her past, but of who she was becoming. She passed Mr. Jenkins again, and this time, she stopped. Can I help you push the cart? She asked softly. Mr. Jenkins looked shocked. Then he smiled. If you really want to, Amanda pushed a heavy cart beside him for a few minutes, laughing softly when it wobbled. I used to think your job was easy, she said. Mr. Jenkins smiled at her. And now, Amanda looked at her hands, tired and sore. Now I know it's not. When they reached the corner, she waved goodbye and walked the rest of the way home. That evening, Amanda didn't feel ashamed of the small money she earned. She didn't feel embarrassed by her job. She felt proud of her hard work and of the person she was becoming. In bed, before sleep came, she thought, maybe one day, she could help others the way they had helped her. Amanda knew she wasn't perfect anymore, and that was the best feeling she had ever known. Months passed. Amanda no longer counted the days. She worked at the cafe 5 days a week. Her hands grew stronger. Her legs no longer felt like giving up. She carried plates, cleaned floors, and smiled at customers without feeling embarrassed. She knew most people in the cafe by name. She had become part of their world. Her heart had changed completely. She was no longer the girl who judged people by their clothes or their jobs. Now, when she saw someone tired, she didn't think lazy. She thought, they're trying. One morning, Mrs. Parker gave Amanda a surprise. I want you to help train the new girl, she said. Amanda blinked. Me? Train someone? Mrs. Parker smiled. Yes, you've learned well. Share what you know. Later that day, the new worker arrived. Amanda stared in shock. It was Emily Thompson. Emily had been Amanda's schoolmate. She was once like Amanda, rich, popular, and proud. But like Amanda, her family had lost their money too. Now, Emily stood nervously in front of Amanda, wearing simple clothes, holding her hands tightly. Amanda saw fear in her eyes. She recognized it. She had once felt the same. Follow me, Amanda said gently. She showed Emily how to carry plates, wipe tables, and smile at customers. Emily struggled at first. She dropped a glass. She got scolded by a customer. She looked like she wanted to cry. Amanda didn't laugh or judge. She encouraged her softly. It's okay, Emily. You'll get better. I did. At break time, Emily sat beside her, quiet. I'm terrible at this, Emily whispered. Amanda smiled. I was too. In the beginning, Emily looked at her in surprise. But you're good now. I worked hard. You will too. Emily looked down. I used to laugh at people who did these jobs. Amanda touched her arm gently. I know. I used to do the same. But life taught me. And now, I'm proud. Emily's eyes filled with tears. I don't know how to be like you. Amanda smiled softly. Just start. That's all you need. to do. Over the weeks, Amanda trained Emily patiently. She saw herself in Emily's mistakes, and instead of judging, she guided. Slowly, Emily changed too. Amanda no longer looked for praise. She didn't care about expensive clothes or people's opinions. She cared about kindness, hard work, and respect. One afternoon, Jenna sat beside her during a quiet moment. "You've changed, Amanda," Jenna said kindly. Amanda smiled. "I had to." "No, you chose to." Amanda thought about that. Jenna was right. Life had forced her into hard times, but changing her heart had been Amanda's choice. She could have stayed bitter. She could have refused to learn, but she didn't. She chose to understand. She chose to become better. One evening, Amanda walked home, passing by the same streets where she once judged others. She saw Mr. Jenkins sweeping, just like always. This time, she didn't just greet him. She stopped and helped him again, like she often did now. They talked softly about life, about work, about hope. At home, her parents were doing better. Her father found a small job in another town. Her mother worked at a sewing shop. They were not rich again, but they were a family that understood hard work and gratitude. Now, Amanda continued her calf job, even when her father offered to help her stop working. "I want to keep working," Amanda said softly. "I've learned too much to stop now." She knew working in that calf wasn't a punishment. It was her classroom. Life itself had been her teacher. One Sunday morning, Amanda sat quietly by the window, thinking about her journey. She remembered all the people she had once judged. She remembered how life had humbled her. She remembered the long days, the aching body, the tears. But now, she felt no regret. She felt thankful. Amanda whispered to herself, "I was wrong, but I've learned." And in her heart, she promised herself one thing: she would never judge anyone again. Because until you work in someone's shoes, you will never understand their journey. Amanda understood now, and that lesson would stay with her for life. The end.